Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Katie, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how I decorated my kitchen for Valentine's Day. So I don't really decorate my entire home for this holiday, but there's just something about having like some pops of cute Valentine's decor in my kitchen that makes me happy. So I'm going to just share that with you guys. Also share with you some kitchen DIYs for Valentine's Day I think that you'll really enjoy. So thank you guys so very much for watching. If you like DIYs and decorating, definitely consider subscribing. I'd love to have you, and let's go ahead and get right into this video. For this first DIY, I'm going to be making a heart garland made out of salt dough. And salt dough really is just as it sounds, it's just salt and water and flour. And after I had made this dough, I went ahead and rolled it all out so that it was the same amount of thickness all throughout. And then I used this little heart cookie cutter, and I got this in a pack from Walmart. There was several different sizes in this, and I didn't see any cookie cutters at Dollar Tree, but this worked really well, and like I said, only $1. After I had cut out all of the hearts, then I used a wooden dowel to make 2 holes in the top of the salt dough. And after those had dried, then I painted these with some light pink chalk paint, and I always get my chalk paint from Walmart. It's only, I think, like $1.50 if you get a small size, which is a little bit more expensive than just acrylic paint, but I really love chalk paint and I like the way that it dries. Once the paint was dry, then I threaded some white rope through both of the holes, and I decided while I was doing this that I did want some white hearts to go in between the pink ones as well, so I also painted those with some white chalk paint, and then I spaced these how I like them. And after I had them all spaced, then I hung this garland up above my window in my kitchen. The next thing that I decided to make was a beaded garland, and I have made a couple of these before. I absolutely love using garlands in my decor, and I feel like these Dollar Tree beads work really well. You can get beads from Walmart that are more neutral colored. They are a bit more expensive, so it just depends on if you want to put in a little bit more work or if you just want to have them as they are. So I decided to just go ahead and use these Dollar Tree ones, and the first thing that I did was divide these up into the bigger size beads and the smaller size beads. I didn't use like the tiny beads that were in the packages, just like the largest ones and the medium ones. After the beads were separated, then I placed them onto the wooden skewers. I put the largest beads onto specific skewers and then the medium beads onto other skewers. After I had all of the beads that I wanted to be painted one color all together, then I used this plastic basin from Dollar Tree and I lined up the skewers on this, and then I just used some spray paint to paint the beads either white or pink. For the end of my beaded garland, I used an extra little heart that I made out of salt dough, and then I just threaded some of this jute rope through here, and then I just secured this with a knot, and I think that it makes a really cute end piece to the garland. Once I had the heart secured on one end, then I began threading the other beads onto the jute rope. I had painted the medium beads white, and I used those kind of as spacers in between the larger big pink beads, and I wanted just a kind of a mixed pattern between the whites and the pinks. For the other end of the garland, I made a little tassel, and I made this by cutting several pieces of string to about 6 inches in length, and then I folded these in half, and I used another piece of string to tie a little loop around the top of these. And after I had that done, then I secured this to the entire string of garlands, also just using a knot. There's several different ways you can do this, but I found this to be the easiest one, and I absolutely love how this beaded garland turned out. I'm really into the light pink and white kind of look. I don't do a lot of reds in my Valentine's decor, but if you do, you could just add a few red beads, and I think this is so perfect. Next, I decided to make a little Valentine gnome. So I got this mop from Dollar Tree, and then I cut off the pieces of the bottom of the mop, and I cut them off kind of close to the top of like where the string started. And I also picked up this white sock from Dollar Tree and I filled it with beans and then secured the top of it with just a little rubber band. Next, I secured the pieces of the bottom of the mop onto the sock just using some hot glue, and I covered the entire bottom portion of the sock with these pieces of the mop. When I was doing this, I did divide the mop pieces in half so that they would be the right length, and I made sure to place them right next to each other so that there weren't any gaps. After I had all of the area covered, then I separated each strand to make the gnome's beard look a little bit more full. I really like this because it kind of gives a crimped look and I think it's super cute. For the gnome's hat, I used this pink sock that I got at Dollar Tree, and the first thing that I did was cut off the toe portion of the sock. I wanted it to have more of a hat look at the top and not just like a sock, so I made it look like it was a little bit frayed at the top, just kind of like a normal winter hat would be. And then I secured that with a rubber band. After that, then I flipped the front part of the sock over and I secured that with a little bit of hot glue, and then I just pulled this over the top of the gnome and I used hot glue to secure this to the gnome. Next, I put a dab of hot glue on the top part of an extra bead from my beaded garland, and I just let this dry. And then after that was dry, then I painted this entire bead with some light brown acrylic paint, and this is going to be the nose for my gnome. After the paint had dried, then I glued the nose onto the gnome. I used some white chalk paint and also this little wooden house that I picked up from Dollar Tree. I believe I actually got this last spring, but I know that Dollar Tree sometimes brings like items back and they have them during different seasons. So I just used the white chalk paint to coat this entire little house, and it did take a couple of coats to get it fully covered. After this was done, I used some little stamps to write Love Shack in the bottom corner. I did have to paint over this because it was really hard to judge like the distance and where I wanted the letters to be, and also my little boy was trying to help me and I was just getting a little bit distracted. So I had to move it to the other corner, but anyway, you get the idea, right? To cover up the area where I had to paint over, I used one of the pink salt dough hearts and I just hot glued that on there, and then I wrote Love Shack in the other corner instead, and then I just used some sandpaper to lightly distress the edges of this because I wanted it to look a little bit more rustic and like a shack, not like a super polished home. Next, I picked up some sticks from my yard, and then I used these Dollar Tree hearts and I hot glued these onto the ends of the sticks, and then I just put them in a little milk jug vase that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I think that it's really cute. Next, I applied some vinyl that I cut using my Cricut onto the back of some Dollar Tree mugs. These are actually the same mugs that I used when I was decorating my kitchen for winter. I just turned them around and used the other side. I like to double purpose my mugs, especially ones that I'm using just for decorating purposes. I feel like this is a really good and easy way to save some space and also some money. So these are super easy to apply. After you've removed the backing, then you just place the vinyl right onto the mug and then remove the transfer tape from the top, and I absolutely love how these turn out. I think that they look super cute and very much just like a typical Rae Dunn mug. If this is perfect if you can't find Rae Dunn or you want a cheaper option. So if you are in the market for some Rae Dunn mug vinyl, I will have it for sale in my Etsy shop, and I will link that down below. To decorate my tiered tray, I also used a couple of other items that are available in my Etsy shop. This XOXO sign, I think it's super cute. I put this right on top of my tiered tray, and then I also added this sweetheart rolling pin, and I really love the pink vinyl. I just feel like it is perfect for Valentine's Day, and I just love everything pink, to be honest with you. I love using this tray as a centerpiece in my island. I got this tray at IKEA, and I just added most of my DIYs to this, starting with my little jug full of hearts, and then I added this XOXO sign. I actually DIY'd this from Dollar Tree item as well. I just bought the XOXO sign. It was originally black and I spray painted it pink, and I made this kind of the focal point of the little area here, and I love how this turned out. I also added the mugs that I made previously in the video, and then I put another garland around the bottom of the XOXO sign. This was not a garland that I made recently. I made it this summer, and I also made this using Dollar Tree beads. I am a huge fan of the Dollar Tree beads, I guess. And I also just added some conversation hearts for a little bit of color and Valentine-ness. These are the most disgusting candy ever. If you like them, let me know in the comments. And that is going to be the end of today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you guys decorate for Valentine's Day, and also let me know any upcoming videos that you'd like to see. I always love hearing from you guys. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye guys!